even the thing is like, because now we're talking about like just saving for the future. What other things what other places or positions can people like just put their money to just not only save? Because I think to me saving is okay, but I find it kind of useless.
Yeah, you need to invest.
If it's not investing. Because I think even for you said like there is something you said like in one of your videos. Let me try and find out what you said. You said your biggest money regret.
Yes, is leaving money in the bank.
Yes.
Yes. Never do that, yes. But yes, one thing you need to always do when you're saving, we are using saving loosely, right? We're not saying like you actually put it in a savings account and leave it there. Yeah. But like we mean you put it in an investment account. So whether it's a money market fund, whether it's a fixed deposit fund or account, those ones earn you interest.
Yeah.
And like he mentioned, it's important that the interest is above inflation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be losing money every day.
What do you think about government bonds? And even before we go to that, I'll even show you like the last message that I got today. We won't say the name of the person.
Yeah.
But you see. No, hope all is well. Been watching your episodes for financial advice. And Kumbuka, you had mentioned something about investments paying off.
Yes.
I want to start investing myself. So was looking for kidogo advice on where to begin. And you see, this is a message that came in today at 11:50.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for me, I do bills and bonds. I'm not going to lie. I do bills and bonds.
Yeah. I keep telling people.
I do them because, I mean, at the end of the day, they are low risk. Fairly lower risk than a lot of the investments that you can take in Kenya, to be honest. And, bills are the short term. So you take them in Kenya, you take them either in 90 days either or
30, 60, 90
yes,
days,
30,
right?
60, exactly.
Yeah.
Not 30, 60.
60. Are you sure it's not 30?
It's not 30.
There's
it's 30.
There's
1
30.
month.
There's no 30?
Oh, wait.
I'm asking.
We need to check. Let's check.
I know there's 90.
There's 90 and 180. 180. No, minimum is 90.
90.
Yes, so 93 months.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
my bad.
182, which is approximately 6 months.
Yeah.
And 364.
3 months, 6 months, and then a whole year, right?
Correct.
Okay, I got you.
Yes, so the bills are short term.
I haven't done bills.
Oh,
but
you
I
always
do
do bonds. Okay. Yeah, and bonds are long term. So there are two types of bonds. There are the normal bonds, and then there are the infrastructure bonds, which everybody's always buzzing about.
That's what I go for,
yes.
actually.
And why do you go for them?
They're tax-free.
Yes.
Because every time guys are saying tax, I'm like, hey, bro, listen. There's one thing that the government is telling you. We're borrowing your money and you don't have to pay tax for it.
That's true.
That's the one place. Because there's no other place, by the way.
Yeah.
No other thing you're doing in this country where you're not paying tax. Impossible. They'll just depending on whether you're going to central bank directly or if you're using like a bank, you'll get like to pay a little bit of fee or processing fees and all those things. Because if it's through a bank, you're using their app and you have to be reasonable also. If you get to use their app and see exactly like, okay, these are the new updates. I mean, that only makes sense, right?
That's true.
So why for you specifically bills and bonds?
So I do bills and bonds. I do both because I use the short term to accumulate funds. So I can either use my money market fund. So you use your let's say, I don't know, you project that in the next few months, you want to buy a bond for, let's say, 1 million, right? And of course, I don't have 1 million right now. Yeah. So I want to accumulate it. So put it aside. So you can either use bills. So you put like 50 every month. You buy a bill. Then by the time you withdraw, or rather the payment comes back to you, you're able to accumulate and then buy a bigger bond. Yeah. That's how you can use bills. Also, I use my money market fund to do that as well. So you put money aside in the money market fund, accumulate your whatever you need to buy. Even if it's land, by the way, I don't know if you want to buy a land for 2 million in a year or 2 years. Or
are you a land investor?
I'm not a land investor, by the way. But if for those who are good at it, because I know there's some people who are good at land and real estate and stuff. Yeah. So if you are good at it and you want to buy things cash, also money market funds or short-term bills are a good way of accumulating the funds.
So now another thing that I would ask you about, especially when you're coming to things like bonds.
Yes.
Because I think lately a lot of people there's been speculations on like,
Yes.
because government is giving people like crazy like interest.
Yes.
Maka guys are like, there is no way. But I was trying to tell people the thing is also
Yeah.
that
And bonds are long term now.
They're long-term.
Bonds are now minimum I've seen is there's a 2-year bond, 3, 5 on average. And they're even longer ones in the market, in the secondary market. So those are the long term investments are bonds. Yes.
But also like just in bonds, is your strategy collecting them after maturity, or do you
Reinvest.
No, do you pick your dividends after every 6 months?
Oh, I definitely pick my dividends. I do not reinvest. Maybe I should consider.
Yeah, because even for me, it's like if it's not dividends, and dividends for those people who don't know, when you're doing bonds, it's like the payout that they give every semi-annually.
Exactly.
Every 6 months.
Yeah. And also shares do give dividends as well.
Yeah.
Some shares.
Like
most bank, if you have shares that...
What shares do you work with? Okay, you don't have to go. We're not going
I can.
You still have people be like, yo, I heard you talking about me. Can I have any urgency?
No, but I always say this. Say this. I talk about the investments I have and I share them with my audience. But tukichomeka just remember, tutachomeka what I'm telling you what I have.
Yeah.
So that not what is sponsored, because I've not talked about what is when it's sponsored, I will say sponsored.
Yeah.
I'm talking about what I personally have invested in it. And if tukichomeka, remember, tunachomeka wote. Don't come say Babs said.
Babs said.
Babs didn't say. Babs only said what
said.
she invests in as well. Yeah, but I usually focus on banks because they have dividends. I was trying to get Safaricom finally. I had not gotten Safaricom earlier.
How comes it's so hard to get into some of these ninis by
Yeah.
Do you use an app, or you have to
I was using
go?
Those agents. They're called agents.
Now that's where for me, anytime I hear agent or like a middleman.
They're called what? They're not... Okay, I'm calling them... you know what I mean? Brokers.
Brokers, yeah.
Yes, I was a broker.
Yeah.
I'm calling them agents.
Of course, they can be reputable and everything. But for me, I think I'm more comfortable with something that I can use an app and see. So either if it's an institution, like the same way we can say, like, let's say, okay, there's this bond that the government has been doing lately. I don't know whether you're in on it.
Yes.
It's IFB,
I did.
IFB1 2023,
yes,
6.5.
This is your app?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
For StanChart.
Oh, you use StanChart.
Which one do you use?
I go directly with Central Bank. So I have like the Dow CSD.
Oh, so you're like, hey, me paying this to commissions here and there. No. But now
But it's okay. It's still
can see,
very clear.
And minimal, like right now, StanChart used to have like a minimal of like 100 Gs.
Yeah.
But now you see they're saying even like with 50 Gs, you can still buy.
Yeah.
But let's talk about like the coupon first of all.
Yes. The first coupon I think should be in January, or no? January?
Yeah, January.
Yes.
But let's say, no, we're talking about like now the dividend return. They're talking about 17.93%.
Exactly. Annually though. So divide by 2.
Yeah. Annually, but still, we're still talking about like, where else do you put? Like, I don't think
you can get that.
Is there a country that's giving as high as 17.93?
No. I mean, Europe interest rates are what? Even if you get like
5,
7%,
6, 7.
that's the ideal.
They cannot go over 10%.
Yes, everything is now between 2 and 4.
2 and 4%.
Yeah. But it's because of the stability of their currency, right?
Yeah. No, I also understand that, but still.
Ours, it's because of the varying,
But 17%, let's just put this into perspective, right?
17% of 100,000.
No. Let's go with $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you put in $1 million, if you buy bonds, because other people, there are some people who don't understand how bonds work, and they're always asking. Like, let's say the government is borrowing 1 million shillings from you.
From you, yeah.
And then they're saying the interest rate is
it was
17.93%
percent
annually. Of course, they'll do dividends semi-annually, like after every 6 months.
Yes.
So that's 179,300 Kenya shillings annually.
For just keeping you,
just them borrowing your money. And
they'll pay by...
Yeah. And now you see, semi-annual, now we're talking after every 6 months, you get to collect 89,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
So now I'll tell you the strategy that I use.
Okay.
Right? And, you can borrow it, but, if it works for you, well, if it doesn't work for you, I mean, but it cannot not work for you if you understand exactly what I'm saying. I've spread out like my bonds for 6 months.
Okay.
So basically what that means is every month I have something coming in.
You have a coupon coming. Yeah.
Every single month.
Yes. One of my mutuals, the Wealth Tribe, let me plug
Yeah.
her. She also does that.
Yeah.
She does that.
So
you bid so that you collectively have the schedule.
Schedule.
The payment schedule.
So every
within 6 months.
mid-month, there's something coming in
Wow.
my account. So for one, and I'm always telling people, like, as much as like, it wasn't like this, but I had to stay for a very long time and try and figure out like finances properly and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But for my case, I never have to think about rent anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Utilities. So if you are around me, at times it can be very confusing. And you also have to understand, because now I'm
cash
explaining.
flow wise,
Yeah.
you don't have cash flow, but like things are paid.
But even if I don't wake up and work today or tomorrow,
there's money coming.
money is still coming in.
Yeah.
Money still coming in. So, I mean, and that's just like a rough idea of how I can tell people, like, think about how you can save up, and long term, you can structure money to definitely work for you. It makes things easier because now you can choose. Like for me, because I'm working freelance, I can say this month I just don't feel like doing anything. And
or you could use your time on other things.
Yeah, and I can just
develop a new skill. I don't know if you want to.
I can go ride horses.
You can, learn
how to skate.
Luxury of
exactly.
That is amazing.
Yeah, but that's how I've structured. So rent, utilities, and just like even just my upkeep and everything, they're structured with that. And then I have like now things that I can put in like more risky investments.
True.
And that will bring me to like what would I consider risky investments?
Land.
No, land, I wouldn't even touch land. I wouldn't.
It is risky.
Because land, first of all, like I'm not getting dividends anyway.
It's just money, melada.
It's a speculation of like this land in 10 years, it's going to be like worth 2-3 times the amount.
Most times it does grow in value.
But 10 years.
Your issue is the duration.
Am I
you're buying a bond for 7 years.
Am I still talking about the person who's like YOLO life here?
No, but personally, my fear with land is how Kenya is.
Somebody's gonna come and pick that land at some point.
Yes, the stealing
and
the lack thereof of a structure around
transparency.
Actually,
Yeah, there's no transparency.
For me, I am very afraid of that because if somebody comes and holds a knife to my throat and they're like, that land is mine, I'll just be like, take it. I mean, what happened the other time with the bulldozing and everything, I mean,
did you see those houses? They were beautiful.
Exactly, whether it was their fault or whether they were duped, whoever it was. But the fact that it happened in the first place, that should
even
be
for me,
the
I was
problem.
just like, I can't touch land or property for that matter because of that. Because it's just too risky now. We don't know how these big shots are dealing with paperwork.
Exactly.
Just some fishy and sketchy things that are going on.
Correct.
That it's not in our control. So for bonds, how you mentioned about like 7-year bond, but even if understand if like, let's say we've spread out my bonds the way I've used my strategy, that means for 7 years with that one bond, every 6 months I'm collecting.
Oh, yes.
And for the other years, and I'm always trying to think, there was a friend of mine, now he's in, I think he's in the States. And we had this debate because I was saying like, what? You're talking about bonds? Because I always share a few tips on my Insta stories, like, hey. And then he's like, what? Bonds? Hey, Zakayo is coming for the bonds. I'm like, what do you mean? He's borrowed money from me. So he's coming for what exactly?
Exactly.
He's borrowed money from me and he's paying me interest tax-free. So he's not coming for anything. If anything, I'm part of the government.
Correct.
Yeah.
And funny thing, people don't know this, but I have a feeling, and I may not be correct. I don't know. I stand to be corrected, but I have a feeling those loans that they take, the returns that they're giving us that are speculated to be too high, are still much cheaper than the external borrowing.
Of course.
So to me, I don't perceive them as too high.
Yeah.
Because whatever the trade-off between local borrowing and the external one, there's still a delta. There's still a huge difference. I mean, the government should be saving money, I believe, from borrowing locally than it is from borrowing from outside.
But it just goes from inside, they can't borrow as much as what World Bank would give them.
True.
And like the quantity that they're going for, like when you're talking to IMF, Huko, it's
much larger.
much larger. And then payment process, of course, spread out in like years, even after the president is or is not in the seat.
Correct.
So you have to understand understand how the government works. And I'm not saying like it's a hack, but it's something that can work in your favor.
It does.
Yeah,
I would
work in
recommend
favor.
that to working parents too.
Yeah.
That could be used for school fees.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah.
That's I remembered my colleague mentioning that.
Yeah.
You can use that as a
and even understand, this is just a side, because if you have the Edicure strategy that I told you about as well, that still takes care of school fees.
Correct.
And now you have dividends that are coming every month.
Coupons.
So now this means even in a month, if you're not doing a regular 8 to 5, or if you're doing a regular 8 to 5, like you have a lot of cash flow that will leave you in a position where even if, let's say, you get fired, for people who are doing like 8 to 5, it does not leave you in a very shaky place, because there are people who, if you get fired,
you're done.
You're done.
That's true.
Like stress, depression, you're moving to shags. Hey, first of all, your wife will leave you. She will leave you.
Oh,
Don't
my,
believe.
they will.
Not so many will stay there. Not so many will stay there.
I'm for the wife will not leave you.
Do you really think if a pilot...
Why is the male gender so negative?
Do you really think if a pilot gets fired with a lifestyle that he's already used to and providing for girlfriend or wife and children, that wife will stay?
Another job. Yes. Why should she leave her
let's
pilot?
just assume. No,
He'll
listen.
go to Emirates or Qatar.
No. Things don't work out like that always. Well, you can get another job, but let's just